Hello, everyone. Welcome to Get in the Garage,
a music podcast
for music lovers.
Welcome, everyone. We welcome back Jeffrey as well this week.
We have Jeff.
We are not Sans Jeff.
We are Jeff Full.
Jeff,
Yeah, that's right.
Grateful Jeff Full.
That's right.
Yeah. We got a fun episode planned for you. Before we start, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, drop us a comment, do all that good stuff. Awaken the primordial algorithm. And, just show love and support if you can. You want to kick it off?
Oh,
Kick it old school.
Well, kick it old school. Let's get it going. Yeah, here.
Oh, what are we doing?
We're fine.
You got to make a drum fill right now.
Yeah. Oh, our
Give
theme
us
song
a click. Well,
Oh,
Yeah, here.
I didn't know what we were doing.
No, it's okay. You're
I
good.
feel like you didn't have the song queued, and I feel like
had
it
the
was
song.
on me.
No, I had the song queued. It just wasn't playing for
the
some
song was
reason.
in his headphones.
Yeah. It's always going. This is always going. Yeah, baby. All right. So yes, welcome. We are back, and we have some birthdays.
Happy birthday. Oh, no, sorry.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh, Stevie Wonder.
Yes. So we did do a quick birthday shout out to Sir Paul McCartney last week, but Jeffrey wasn't here, so we figured that we would talk about Paul for a hot second and maybe just list off a couple of our favorite tracks in honor of Mr. I was gonna say McFartney, but
Have some respect.
I know. I'm sorry. He's a knight after all.
It was also Brian Wilson's birthday.
Yes.
Oh, both
other day?
octogenarians, both 80 years old.
What are they?
Yeah.
Octogenarians.
Octopuses.
Octopus
Put that
Garden.
one in your back pocket.
Too bad Ringo wrote that one.
Yeah, we're gonna, say happy birthday, and
Yeah.
maybe we're gonna give some songs that we love by said artists.
All right,
Yeah.
songs I love. Paul McCartney, master of melody, my favorite Beatle. John Lennon brings the moodiness, but Paul McCartney brings the tunefulness. Favorite songs in order. My favorite Paul McCartney written song is a song called For No One. It's off of Revolver, and it's like piano, vocals, and then French horn solo, and it's like this melancholic ballad. Beautiful song. My second favorite Paul McCartney written song is title track from Band on the Run by Wings, which is one of those like take three songs and smash them into one song kind of song suite. I really love Let It Be. I really love The Long and Winding Road.
Yeah.
I really love Respect for It. Yesterday. That would be my top five.
Okay. All right. Luke, you want to rattle off?
I will give you some of my favorite Wings songs.
Yes.
Let 'Em In,
Oh.
off Speed of Sound. I'm gonna give you Silly Love Songs.
Mm.
Great Wings tune, classic pop song, very Paul McCartney. I'm gonna go Rock Show. From Venus and Mars, and then Live and Let Die.
Oh, classic.
Oh,
James
yeah.
Bond.
James Bond. Those are my Wings songs that kick ass.
Okay.
Stick them in your back pocket.
I'm going to go a little more early, maybe early Paul McCartney / Beatles stuff. Uncle Albert, Admiral Halsey, because I love that song.
Sure.
Across the water.
He loves like a marching band
Oh,
style
it's so
song.
good. I
like,
love it.
Like what they call it, music hall. It's like vaudeville.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
loves that shit.
He loves.
loves that.
I don't want to say the mouth
Yeah.
trumpet, but the
He
mouth
loves
trumpet.
it. Yeah. Him and Freddie Mercury keeping the mouth trumpet alive.
It's kind of like part of a bigger, known as maybe like the Abbey Road Suite, but You Never Give Me Your Money. I love that tune.
song. Yeah.
Yesterday as well was one that I wrote down, so some overlap. Martha, My Dear, I like that tune.
Luke's favorite song on White Album.
He
He had the number one pick on our episode. He chose that.
and last but not least, not that these are any particular order, but my favorite song to butcher when attempting to play it on acoustic guitar, I've got to go with Blackbird.
The first time I called Mike out for not knowing how to play it,
Yep.
he was like, "No, I know how to play it," and then he was just like, he went to play it, and he like hit every note wrong.
What part do you find more challenging? The chromatic walk up from C or the chorus, which is the F walk down?
He doesn't even know the chorus walk down. There's no way.
I mean, it doesn't matter. It's
knows
just
all he knows
jazz.
It's a 2-minute song.
The hardest part to me is making the bird noises
That's true.
while I'm trying to play
That's
it.
true. So happy birthday, Paul McCartney.
Yes.
Just like, just such an icon, such a legend that like he is often kind of forgotten that he's still kicking it and doing shows. He did his 80th birthday show. He had like a bunch of special guests like Bruce Springsteen and
he's still releasing like relevant albums.
yeah.
Like,
check out
really?
McCartney 3 came out last year, I think. Yeah, just plays everything, writes everything.
Yeah.
80 years.
80 years.
And our other guy,
80 years, man.
Is
one of Luke's favorite, Brian Wilson.
Yes.
a bit more docile in his older age, has recently released a piano solo album, if you believe he's playing it.
I saw some studio clips.
Did you? I believe he played it. I believe he played it.
But of course, the leader of the Beach Boys, one of Luke's favorite groups, if not favorite group. And yeah, he wrote a ton of 60s songs, especially that everybody knows.
A Sea of Tunes. That was the name of his publishing company.
See, that is true.
Sea of Tunes Publishing.
Do you have any favorite tracks?
I'll give you
Yourself?
I'll give you some deep cuts. Okay, so Busy Doing Nothing off the Friends album from 1968. It's a very Brian Wilson song where he just talks about how he's busy doing nothing. It's a bossa nova-y song. Amazing. Great. I'm going to shout out Little Pad off of Smiley Smile. It is like a hukalau, Hawaii, psychedelia, wonderfulness. I will give you Darling off of Wild Honey, a great single, a classic. She and him just did a cover of it and released it as a single if you want to check it out. It is kind of like a hidden Beach Boys song. These are all from the Beach Boys lo-fi period, which would be kind of my favorite, but I'm going to give you one from 1971, a later day Brian Wilson classic, Till I Die, off of the album Surf's Up. A like crazy song about, how small you are in the world, a cork on the ocean, all that great stuff. So check it out.
Nice. Yeah, I would say that I'm a novice in terms of my expansive knowledge of the Beach Boys, but I love Pet Sounds. The Smile Session stuff is great too. So like obviously like you have Wouldn't It Be Nice, Good Vibrations. I Just Wasn't Made for These Times is great. Caroline Knows, another song that I really like. What is it? Vegetables. My favorite vegetables. Like, I love that stuff.
I was just talking with
Sloop
Chelsea,
John B is
Chelsea
great
yesterday
too.
when you're like, when someone's like, oh, you like the Beach Boys? And you're like, yeah. And they're like, oh, like Kokomo? And I'm like, no, like fucking vegetables, dude. Like, get with it.
If you brought a big brown bag of them.
I'm kind of similar where I am not the most knowledgeable Beach Boys fan. But some of my favorites are, of course, Good Vibrations, one of the greatest songs ever. In My Room, God Only Knows. Just Wasn't Made for These Times. Sloop John B. I really like that song too.
Yeah, it's a good tune.
And I think he wrote, I don't know if he was on the album, but I think he did write Sail on Sailor from Holland.
I think he did.
He wrote Sail on Sailor,
Yeah.
and everybody and their mother jumped on to get writing credit on that song. There was like 13 people have writing credit on it, and like it's a Brian Wilson, like pretty much only him.
Yeah. Also, shout out to that movie. What's the name of that movie?
With Paul Dano, it
and
is called.
What's his name?
Oh, what is that?
John Cusack.
John Cusack. I was
Love and Mercy is the name
There
of
you
it.
go.
Love and Mercy. Yeah, thank you.
Named
Great
after Brian Wilson.
insight into the mind of Brian Wilson and like the stuff that he experienced and stuff. It's that movie for me was kind of the where I was really like, oh yeah, Brian Wilson, man. So
An army of didgeridoos.
an army of didgeridoos.
Unless you learn how to play
the fucking theremin. Right on. So happy birthday to two of the greats.
Two of the greats, man.
Two of the greats. Yes.
It is rumored that Paul McCartney is chomping celery on vegetables
Oh.
before we
is it
leave
Paul?
this topic. So
Wow.
Is it? I thought that the accent on that chewing was a little. It sounded like it was from Liverpool.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a
Liverpudlian.
Liverpudlian. They call it the old Liverpool chew,
No, I don't.
No, I know. I'm fucking it's jazz, baby. All right, so
Free jazz.
it's jazz, baby. So moving on, some current events in the happening news. Beyonce has officially announced a new
Queen Bee.
album. The
She
Queen
has
Bee.
left the hive.
She has indeed. She released a new song in anticipation of the new record. Let me just pull the song up right now. It's called Break My Soul. Pretty cool. It's definitely got that sort of like, it's interesting because like one of the, you'll be able to tell by the title of the podcast episode and stuff. We're going to be covering the new Drake album in the second half of the show. But it seems like there's this kind of thing about going into this sort of like house dance music sort of vibe kind of thing. Beyonce is definitely doing that with this song. I don't know that this is a complete reflection of what the album itself is going to be. I read an article that said that the album is going to have some of that dance hall-y sort of influence, but also maybe like some country influences as well on the album to be released. So
Why not?
I'm not quite sure. But Break My Soul, I was listening to it. I told Luke, I'm like, I feel like I'm in a dressing room at TJ Maxx. It's got that sort of like Euro beat kind of thing going on with it. And I really like it. I definitely felt like a cool connection to it, in the sense that, it's kind of this social conscious sort of thing where lyric wise she's talking about, you're working your 9 to 5, like they don't care about you. I think CNN had CNN Business published an article. Beyonce's new song is an anthem for the Great Resignation. So, it's take from it what you will or make of it what you will, but I dig it. I think it's cool. I think it's really, really cool.
I think I'm excited for the new record to hear like what the whole thing sounds like, but this is like a great, like the track is like dancey. It's the lyrical content is great. I like just the way it, like she's saying something like, and it's got like a message. It has that kind of thing to it, and I'm excited to hear the rest of it. But I was definitely, before we get into it, this song excited me more than the 2 albums we're gonna cover in the back half. So that was an exciting thing. So we'll get into it later. But
if this song is a lot like what's going to happen on the album, I definitely think that this will be a soundtrack for the summer type of a record for sure. Like, it sounds dancey and fun, and I think if she incorporates this and does some cool ballads and all that stuff, I mean, she's Queen Bey.
New album out July 29th, I believe. It's going to be called Renaissance, and I think it's her first traditional album release in about a decade, because since the self-titled album came out, which I think was 2013 or 2014, I'm pretty sure every album since has been just a surprise drop, and the whole album just like comes.
2014.
2014, yeah.
You're right.
So she's had 3-4 albums in a row that have been like, here you go, with full music video, big production of every single song, visual albums, she's been calling them. So more of a traditional rollout for this, and global superstar, and well, deservedly so. Great singer, great songwriter, great entertainer, dancer, public figure, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Tune back in for the album review.
Yeah, we'll definitely hit you
month.
with that. It's all moving on. It's all the rage. It's kind of been a song that's, I think I looked on Spotify. It's a bit strange. I looked on Spotify, and the Kate Bush song that has recently gotten quite the revival. Oh my God, what's the name of the song? Oh, Running Up That Hill. Thank you. Released in 1985.
271 400.
Yeah, so over 271 million streams.
Thank you.
On Spotify. It's been this
250
huge...
of those have been in the past 3 weeks.
Right,
250 million, I should say.
which is really crazy. It's all over social media, and it's all because of the song's use in the Netflix drama Stranger Things.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a drama?
Yeah,
it's been called a drama.
It's not a
it's
comedy.
Kind of like, it's not. Says you.
I mean, it's funny moments, but that's a drama. It's horror,
Seems
sci-fi.
like a thriller.
Yeah, I was gonna say thriller. Yeah.
Right.
Like a horror
But
thriller.
I feel like drama can blanket it all.
And thriller would be a subcategory
you're
of
right.
drama.
You're
in
right.
my
You're
opinion.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I stand corrected.
Yeah, and this song, currently I believe it's number 5 on Billboard Hot 100. Last week it was a peak position of number 4. So kind of crazy, that song that's 37 years old, just from its appearance. I mean, it's not just an appearance, it's not just a record drop in the soundtrack. Like, it is a focal point of, I think it's the middle episode of this batch of this season.
Yep.
And so it's like the song that like saves a girl's life.
Yeah.
So it's like it is heavily, and it's a huge scene, and girls in like a hellscape, and she's running slow motion, and the soundtrack of the song is booming, and so it's cool.
Yeah.
But very interesting for a art rock pop song from the mid 80s to be number 5 on the charts in 2022.
Yeah. And and honestly, man, so like, doing a little bit of research on my own, I was like, oh, this is cool. I wonder how much the record itself is going for. And man, to think that this, like the vinyl itself, to purchase the vinyl record was at best maybe like a $5 to $10 record if you found it somewhere. Now it's outrageous. If you go to Discogs, I went to Discogs, it's like I can't even really find it, and the copies that I can find are pretty expensive.
I'm gonna for you for a minute.
Are you?
This is for me. I'm not familiar with this record on any level, but. For me, this has always been like a record head record, like record people.
Has it now?
This is Hounds of Love, right? Is that the name of the album?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think so.
This is always a
It's like her 4th
Hounds
album,
of Love. You were correct, from 1985. This is always a record head record. When I see people like record collectors always have this record. This has been like an Instagram record that I see for at least the past 10 years, and it's one of those records I see and go, oh, that's an important record, and I don't know why, but like I see it too often for it to be. It's kind of been getting a renaissance, at least for the past 10 years.
So would you say it probably, even before this, it wasn't then a $5 to $10 record? You think you could probably still, you'd have to pay a pretty penny, not
a pretty penny, but it's like it was a record.
Yeah,
it was a record,
like a $20, $30 record kind of thing. Yeah. Well, everything that I saw as of late has definitely shot up close to 100.
I would imagine so.
Had you guys had experience with Kate Bush before this phenomenon?
No,
See,
I
always thought that Kate Bush, just from record, like looking at people collecting records and stuff, that's what I always assumed, that she was like an artier, maybe like Duran Duran kind of thing, like like an indie, like a you know what I mean, like more like artistic credibility, Duran Duran kind of deal, or like Tears for Fears, but like even more like in the direction of that. And then I also kind of thought it was maybe some like gothy overtones, something like that.
The Cure,
but like I didn't. But that was just what I put on. I've never listened to it.
Yeah,
I knew her because she does a duet with Peter Gabriel on his So album, which has Red Rain and In Your Eyes and Sledgehammer. I can't right now think of the name of that song, but so at the time in college when I'm downloading every album that ever existed, I remember listening to Peter Gabriel's artier early albums, Kate Bush, Tom Waits' 80s stuff, like
Don't Give Up.
Don't Give Up. Yeah, it's great. It's a great song. But it's like she's a pop singer, and this song, Run Up That Hill, it is kind of like if you mixed Salisbury Hill by Peter Gabriel with like Total Eclipse of the Heart, like smash those two styles together, because it is kind of it's very melodramatic in a good theatrical way, and anthemic, and just swaths of keyboards, and written, produced, all that stuff by Kate Bush. If you like the music of Robin, who's a dance artist for the past 15 years, I think vocally they sound pretty similar. So if you like Run Up That Hill, check out some of Kate Bush's other stuff.
Yeah.
TikTok, man, the power of the internet. It's crazy.
We were talking before how Dreams and
Dogface 420.
Dogface 420 skateboarding down the street drinking cranberry juice. And we talked about it on the podcast because I read that Rolling Stone article, and I was like, I cannot believe because Rumors entered the top 40 again as an album, and you're like, what the hell? And then you said this is a 30. And I also just wanted to pull up because I kind of was reading just coincidentally about the millennial generation the other day, and Generation X, and like what defines us, and I landed on this, and I thought it had something to do with that. So, additional research showed that within the past few decades, popular music has gotten slower, that majorities of listeners, young and old, prefer older songs rather than keeping up with new ones, that the language of popular songs were becoming more negative psychologically, and that lyrics were becoming simpler and repetitive. But to the point of that old and young people are having a phenomenon of enjoying mostly older music is so strange to me.
Yeah, but see, to me it makes sense because, or at least it makes sense in this way. Like when you're looking at popular music now, right? And we'll get into it in terms of talking about the albums that we're going to review afterwards. You know, everything, it's all cyclical, man. It all comes back. And really within the past, 5 to 7 years, the sort of 80s sound has become popular again. Wouldn't you say? I mean, like, in terms of, like, the way synthesizers are used and everything like that, that sort of 80s vibe thing. So I think it's really just a result of, like, people liking those sounds and textures and just kind of being like, oh, there was literally an entire decade that was the original version of all of this style.
Everything.
And then going back
music,
to, you know what
fashion,
I'm trying to say? But I get what you're saying,
everything
too.
runs in 25 to 30 year
It is
trends.
bizarre, though.
But it's bizarre that it's the first time in history that this is happening, where, like, 37-year-old songs are just like rocketing up the charts. You have like weird examples now and again, like the Righteous Brothers tune, but that
movies, because movies was the internet before the internet,
right? And that was in the movie Ghost
communication.
And that was an obscure song at that.
Right.
Even that wasn't even like a hit back then. That became a hit because of that movie.
Roy Orbison getting big again in like 1990.
Yes, for like no reason.
Yeah.
It's just
hey, have some respect.
But like out of nowhere though.
Yeah.
But I guess
you have to have a good 7 seconds. I think that's the key now.
Yeah.
Do you have 7 seconds that can be timed to a TikTok video that everybody's going to shoot? There's an ABBA song. I forget which fucking ABBA song it is, but that's one that's been hot the past 2-3 weeks or whatever. On every video I see, someone's mouthing along to and it's 7 seconds of the song.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Yeah, because that's the Kate Bush. If I could, that 7 to 9 seconds. It's nothing. Yeah, it's like.
Yeah.
It's
No,
cool,
you're
though.
right. You're right. Yeah.
What? Do you have a song that you would like to see get the TikTok push to the top of the charts?
like an old song.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh man.
To be fair, I will say one song that definitely got like a push. Oh, I don't even know if I should say it because it might be borderline inappropriate. But the CCR song.
When people were making the it was funny.
People were making like draft notice TikToks and stuff because
Fortunate
of
Son.
Yeah, like it started like when it's just like when I get home from college and I get a letter from the military.
Yeah.
And it, down. That was that. You know.
I like the song. It's not super old, but it's kind of Kate Bush era. I like the song. It's probably like 1988. She Drives Me Crazy by Fine Young Cannibals. She drives me crazy.
Oh, I hate that song.
I love that song. That's why. But that's the thing, man. That's the key to these songs. It's like if you thought about the song, it is enraging and a bad song. Like it's kind of beyond bad that becomes good again.
Yeah.
I was in the shower yesterday and I actually thought of one, but didn't realize it until you actually said it. Harry Nilsson's Lime in the Coconut.
Oh yeah.
Because it's perfect.
Oh, yeah.
It's perfect for it.
It had a resurgence for a hot minute.
Beetlejuice.
Oh, it was Beetlejuice?
Oh no, that was Deo. That was Banana Boat song.
Lime in the Coconut is in Pulp Fiction.
It was also in the what was it like the Pepsi like the Diet Pepsi
Oh,
commercials?
sure.
for a hot minute?
No, that was the lime in
Pepsi.
the Coke.
Lime
Oh,
Coke.
the
In
lime
the Coke.
Yeah.
In the Coke. Lime in the Coke.
Lime in the
So it's
Coke.
a Pepsi guy over here.
I
the
can't really think of one like off the top of my head that I would like to, but I will say that like I remember when I was going through a hardcore Marty Robbins phase.
I love Marty Robbins.
Like a year and a half, 2 years ago. I remember I played it for my brother. My brother's younger person, like big gamer and stuff, and I played the song Big Iron, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that was in I think it was like Red Dead Redemption or something like that." It was like it was featured in like one of those Western sort of games and stuff. So it is interesting, man. It's like that song came out in 1959. And you had 18, 19-year-olds singing Big Iron. You know, it's like, what? You know, but it's...
movie soundtracks did it. And as we see TV soundtracks like Stranger Things. And yeah, those TikTok trends that just take off for some reason.
Now that I'm thinking more and more of this, I keep thinking of examples where old songs have shot up the charts. Endless Summer, the Beach Boys, 1974 double compilation of pre-1965 hits, shot up to number 1 in 1974 due to the movie American Graffiti.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which used all the songs for that era.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Right on. Well, there you have it. If you can think of any, drop it in the comments and, tell us what you think. Or if you can think of a song that you would like to see as a resurgence, please let us know what you think. Shall we take a quick break and then come back with some of our current album reviews?
Sure thing.
All right. We will be right back.
2 and 2.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to Get in the Garage.
The music podcast.
For music lovers.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well executed.
Yes. Have some respect. So let's get kicked off here. Let's just jump right head first into this. So this past Friday,
honestly,
which was...
Never mind.
Let's just move on.
No new friends. We're going to cover the new Drake album. So I don't know about you guys. But
you said that very begrudgingly. We're going to cover the new Drake album.
You could give your intro still. Last Friday, Drake released a surprise new album.
A surprise new album, yeah. It was not on any of the... it was not any of the lists that I had seen, anyway.
What lists are those?
I have my
we
lists.
scour these lists every week to give you
lists.
this content.
But yeah, so typically for those who
Mike's
don't...
list that just says Ted Nugent 2022? Question mark? I don't know. Is it coming out?
I hope so. Great White Buffalo. So this past Friday, which was June 17th, also my dad's birthday, so happy birthday. Happy birthday, Dad. Check him out, woodstuff.com. He is he owns
Dude,
the
he got
domain.
the URL?
Huh? Yeah.
Dude, that's a dope URL. Woodstuff.com?
Yeah, woodstuff.com.
Dude, check out woodstuff.com.
LeBon Creations, he makes all kinds of cool goods and stuff. This is not, he doesn't sponsor the show or anything, but shout out to my dad's
Not yet.
Woodcraft. Not yet. Yes, soon to be. We're trying to get him to make us a podcasting table, actually. So shout out. Chris LeBon is his name. Check him out. He makes pens, bowls, furniture, whatever you need, he can make it. He's good with wood. So, moving on. Come on. Let's...
Jeff gave me a stare down. It was hard, man.
All right. Honestly, never mind.
Thank you. Bring it full.
Bring it back forward. Okay, so Friday the 17th of June, without any announcements or anything, Drake dropped his album, Honestly Nevermind. It's 14 songs, 52 minutes and 32 seconds long.
Concise for Drake.
It has one feature, 21 Savage, on the last track. And other than that, this has been a pretty hard left turn for Drake. In one way, yes. In another way, kind of no. I think stylistically, in terms of beats and kind of delivery and all that, it's not really like Drake-ish, but on different level, it's like the Drake-iest Drake album I think I've ever heard.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's weird.
It's reminiscent of some of the stuff on. I don't think it was officially called an album. I think it was called a playlist called More Life, which might have been like 4 years ago. But it's kind of Drake's take on house music and dance music, and he only raps on 2 of the 14 songs, and he's working with a bunch of new collaborators that he hasn't worked with in the past instead of his old guys like 40. I know 40 does 1 or 2 things on here. Boy Wonder, I don't think, does any work on this album.
Gordo, Black Coffee were the other producers.
Yeah, those are the guys who work on this album.
Mainly featured.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a summer record. It's as the kids would say, it's a vibe. It's not like dreary, downtrodden, emotional Drake. It's somewhere in the middle of his fun pop hits and the kind of sleepy sadness stuff. I enjoy the foray into the house music and electronic and dance music. For me, the beats they're good, or I should say they're fine to good, and I just wish there was like more variety in the beats, meaning like within a song. Like house music is known for like, here's the beat, and then add some more percussion, and then drop it, or like high pass filter it, and then go back in and burst it out. And whereas this album is kind of like set it, forget it. Most of the tracks, there's some breaks, there's some piano stuff, there's some sampled soul singing stuff that he uses, but he could have gone harder, so to speak, and gone a little bit more aggressive. I think would have been better. And I only listened to it one time, so I didn't like delve into the lyrical content that much. But it seems to be typical Drake of like kind of border on parody of like his grandiosity and his whatever. But
I think the
it's
question I had when I listened to this was just like, is he in on the joke this time?
Yeah.
You think so?
He's the biggest. Arguably the biggest music person in the world.
Yeah.
So he has to be.
Yeah, I just did not. I had a hard time connecting with this one. Not that I'm a huge Drake fan in general. You know what I mean? I mean, shout out to Devin. We had him on, and we spoke ad nauseum about Drake for a hot minute there. And you know, I don't dislike Drake. He's not my go-to when it comes to listening to hip hop and stuff. I just was like Luke and I were talking about it yesterday on the phone, and it was just like I think the question was like or maybe not the question, but my opinion is like I just feel like this album just doesn't have a soul. I don't know. It's weird. It just doesn't to me. It just seems sort of. It seems a bit stale. It seems a bit, you know. I just
feel
don't know.
like if this is a dance album, lyrically, I'm not really given anything to dance about. So that kind of seems like sad dancing isn't really like a thing. So like I guess it is in some respect, but you know, I feel like a lot of it is kind of like, you know, like Jeff said, it's kind of runs around the same BPM for the whole record. Like. Mike was kind of talking to me this earlier, and I was like, "Oh wow!" For the minimal lyrical content that there is on this record, it's not like he's saying a lot of like profound things. The song "Currents" has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 songwriters, and I can't imagine it's more than a paragraph long of lyrics. So
most of those are probably the samples used.
But do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Because that would make sense to me. Because I was like, there's no way.
Because that song probably uses 2 samples, and each of those samples is a soul song that probably had 4 writers on it.
Okay, see, I'm thinking that these beats really aren't sampled beats as much as because they don't. You know what I mean? There sounds like some samples, but it sounds like everything you could kind of like. You know what I mean?
Right.
That makes more sense to me because I'm like, there's no way 11 fucking people wrote this song. That doesn't make any sense. I was trying to figure out if it was like a Bob Marley thing where he like would give people money by saying they wrote a song, kind of thing. But for me, like lyrically. There's like not a ton going on, and then kind of like on top of that, like the beats are interesting to me, but there's kind of like a lack of melody going on. Because he's like singing on the beat, then he goes like this, and like that's not really a melody for me. So like if you're not rapping on the whole record and you're not coming up with like a creative melody, and then on top of that, for me, like if you're not really pushing any kind of message other than like you don't remember when you met a girl and maybe you do remember and then maybe you miss her, maybe you don't. Like for me, I'm like, if you don't really care about the relationship, why do I care about the relationship? Why am I listening to this?
You have a hard time buying into this.
That's what I'm saying.
At least I did.
That's that soullessness thing, though.
But that's for me. That's an issue because like soulless.
It's what he does. It's how he writes. It's like
Well, at what point do you like write that like one album? Sure, but like at this, you know what I'm saying? If you're like, if this is your thing, like the vapidness of it is like almost like I don't know. I for me that was the hardest thing to connect to. The beats for me were like even the beats being the same kind of thing. That worked fine for me.
Yeah, I like the music aspect.
Yeah.
In you know, I don't want to like poop all over it because like there's things I do really like about it. The song he raps on, "Sticky," for me, the beat, one of the high class beats on the record. Yeah. It's got that dum dum dum.
That one has a break and stuff.
Dum. Yes, and like you said, it has the changes in it. For me, that had like a great danceable thing. The braggadociousness. It let me know who he was. It let me know how he thought his swag was. Like I know I'm saying like words that aren't cool anymore, but like that.
It's lit.
Yeah. For me, the song works because it's like it's danceable. It like had, and he didn't really, you know, the rapping works on it, but like for me, it's just it just had so much more energy on it than like the other songs did.
I wish he went full music wise. I wish he went full singer because he can sing, and even if he can't, I think he can sing. But he's also the biggest artist in this world, so he can use vocal shit in the studio to fuck with it to make it singing.
Yeah, and you can use auto-tune artistically
but
anyway
all
now,
the
you know.
melodies are kind of just 3 notes the whole time.
And sometimes they're
and
not
you're
in
like,
time.
Okay.
Sometimes
that's
they're
his
not in time, you know.
style.
And I get, and I don't know.
To
There's
shout out a
some good
song
moments,
where I
though.
thought the melodies were better was actually the song Currents.
That's my favorite song on the record. I
Right.
think.
The beat on that too works.
Heavy piano and
with
stuff.
what sounds like the bed squeaking and
Right.
that works on like tons of levels where you're just like, yes, this is a vibe, that's cool, and he's doing enough melodic changes on top of it with the keyboards where it works, and I'm very interested in it, and this is one of the songs that my ears definitely perked up on, and I really liked on the record.
Yeah.
So compared to Text Go Green, the previous song, where I really didn't like that song at all, or the song after Currents, A Keeper, where A Keeper is my least favorite song in the whole record. That's the one where he's talking about the girl that he like is into, and he can't remember where he met her, and and he's like, That's the one where I'm just like, I can't take that for like more than like a minute for me. I mean, I listened to it a ton of times this week. I think I did at least 10 times, 7 times. I listened to it a lot because I didn't want to come in here and be like, I wanted, you know what I mean? I didn't want to just be, I don't like this, but like, you know, really think about it and be like kind with
digest it.
Because there is stuff I definitely like about it, and the stuff, you know, so.
Yeah, Drake makes music, it seems like, as time goes on, he misses that one. He's, on most of his songs, he's missing what I think makes a global pop superstar, which is like singing songs that could be personal stories and moments, but have like a universal approach that like everyone can connect to.
Yeah.
Where like Drake's, I think, a year older than me, and it's like I connected to his stuff more when I was kind of going through my like fucking up my love life era of my mid-20s and stuff, and now it's like, okay, another song about like you being the coolest dude, or like you getting the baddest chick, or like a girl not calling you back, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck about that stuff. Like it's not anything I connect to. Like I'm not a guy like Drake, and I don't surround myself with women that he seems to like put on pedestals, and so I like some of the stuff. I like basically every album. I really like 3 songs. And it's like, that's not enough. He makes albums that have 16 tracks. If I can only really like 3 of them, what's the fucking point?
Well, Mike was talking to me about this record because we were, you know, trying to figure out how we're talking about it. And,
who is this for?
Mike, who's this for? And I said, us. This is us. Drake's our artist. Drake came of age is like, you're all of, like, we're the perfect Drake age artist. So for you to say that, and you're like, I've aged out of Drake. Like, this music isn't for me anymore. Like, what's he talking about? Like, I'm not in this stage of my life where Kendrick Lamar just released a monumental album this year with like at least like culturally shifting of him being like family and life and my personal life and all that, where it has like a lot of messages on it and a lot of feel of like family and growing up and maturing. And then like this album is just like, I'm a dancer now, and you're just like, that's fine, but that's not enough of an artistic change for me to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, if you're gonna do it, go whole hog, like,
or to
really
be a culturally shifting artist.
Right.
That's not enough of the change for me. It's got to be like
like I'm not a guy who goes to the dance clubs at the casino and then takes an Uber home because I'm too drunk and is texting a girl who wasn't there that night. Like, that's what Drake's music is for. Like, I don't give a fuck about any of that stuff. I don't give a fuck about it. Like,
the thing is,
not only don't give a fuck, that's anti anything I'm interested in.
Right.
So I wish he made a fucking dance soul album where he's singing about how difficult love and life and relationships and connecting with people over the past 2 years. Yeah, universal themes that have some of your life in it, but it's like, whatever. I just don't care. And I like aspects of it, but it's like good packaging around like some fucking fast food. I don't care. It's like,
right. Yeah, he dressed up some McDonald's fries.
So
you know, but I agree. I just did not like, and it. Like we said, like who is this album really for, and what's his demographic at this point, and all that. But the thing is, you know, like we were saying, it's just kind of like it's just not. It's not. It doesn't. None of the lyrical content or any of it like really piques sort of the interest of the people who were really in support of him 8 to 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, all right, like, all right.
So my if I'm giving a number,
yeah, let's get the number rating. Pitchfork was a little harsh on this one. It was
Might be
6.5 or something. I mean,
Yeah.
I correct myself. I listened to it 2 full times back to front. If I start to sit with it more and like the beats more, maybe it'll move up. But on maybe more repeats, I'll actually listen to the words and then it'll move down because I don't really like the lyrical stuff that much. But I'm gonna say 5.5.
Yeah. I'd say 5. 4.5, 5.
5.
Yeah.
It has redeemable moments. Jimmy Cooks, the feature, great song.
Yeah.
Sticky, great song.
Massive.
The 2 he raps on. Currents,
Is that a
great
song? Massive? Is that a song?
Yes, Massive.
Yep.
Again,
Massive is cool.
there's definitely standout tracks on here that are great, but for me it's filler and repetitive.
I enjoyed the song "Tie That Binds." The beat's cool, and it has that sort of like mariachi style Spanish guitar solo thing that's kind of peppered in over that. Like I think that's cool. Contrary to what Luke said, I didn't mind the song "Text Go Green." I feel like that's the only song where he actually sings on tempo correctly, and
Are you dragging or rushing?
The Pitchfork rip on that song was it was surprising that Drake didn't already have a song called Text Go Green.
He's made songs about it where he's texting someone and their text go green because they're on airplane mode or they're blocking his call.
Yeah,
or whatever.
right. A part of it that I found that was kind of like fun-ish, nostalgic was there's a lot of moments where the beats kind of sound like, like when you were a little kid and like a family member got you like a cheap Casio keyboard and like the pre-programmed beats of boom, 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 like it had that sort of quality to it. So that kind of thing about it, that was cool and everything.
Cool Bone Thugs and
But
Harmony.
Check
just
it
like-
out.
it's
But
just-
it's like this.
Yeah,
Or it's like this.
It's just like it's not an offensive album. You can put it on. You can put it on as background music, and it's cool. It's fine. It's whatever. I've spoken to people who said that they like it. I've spoken to other people who are like serious Drake heads that are a bit older, closer to my age, who said that they really didn't like it. So it seems,
Old heads.
Yeah, old heads. Like that lady that has Drake tattooed on her forehead.
No,
I was saying the cover looks like a Bone Thugs and Harmony logo. Does it not?
Do you think so? I thought it looked like a Daft Punk cover.
it does
It's
look
like,
that.
But it's like Bone
The cover looks like
Daft
something
Bones.
Daft Thugs and Harmony.
something I made in clip art in 5th grade. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Word art.
Phil
word
effects.
art, right?
Phil
Yeah.
effects.
Yeah, it looks like something like 3-6 Mafia had on a pendant.
yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
around there.
3-6 Mafia, yeah, that's a good one.
It's like that kind of thing.
So,
But anyway,
moving on.
let us know what you think, though.
Let us know what you think. I'm
'cause
curious to know if, if people are like, no, you're off, like Drake thinks we're all off, like he
Yeah.
told us the other day from the club.
Yeah. Oh yeah, did you see that? The Stereo Gum had
He was
posted
like,
a
you
video
don't
of
know.
him.
You
He's
don't
like,
know.
It's all right. You don't have to get it. You'll get it soon enough. It's okay. Just because you don't get it, that's okay. And it's like, well, thanks for telling me it's okay, Drake, because I certainly don't get it. So
Push the envelope, man. Meandering music is the worst kind of music, in my opinion.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem.
Challenge me. Give me some. I'd rather listen to Revolution 9 20 times.
Oh Jesus.
Followed with piggies and then wild onion pie.
Anyway, so yes, let us know what you think in the comments below. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Jesus.
All right, the next new album also released this past week is an album by a British band called Foals.
Not
New album-
foils, like I
Not
thought.
Foils. The new
Yeah, Luke kept saying foils, and I'm like,
Dude,
I
I
kept
di-
trying to search foils on Spotify, and I'm like, what the? I can't find. And I
Sorry,
was like,
guys.
oh, does he mean foals?
The new album's called Life Is Yours. It's this band is we'll call it indie rock. It's a band that's been making music for I think just a little over a decade. It used to be it was a 4-piece and it was a 5-piece, and in the past 2-3 years, the bassist has left the band and the keyboard player left the band, so they made this album as a trio with their lead singer doing guitar and bass, and then their lead guitarist playing keyboards.
Michael,
And
can you give us a pronunciation of that lead singer's
yeah.
name?
thank you.
It's right on top there.
Yannis
Yannis Philippakis.
Philippakis from
Yannis
Greece.
Philippakis.
he's a Greek English musician, and this is a band that like this is this is dancey, funky, summery, in my opinion, in like a cool way and an enjoyable way, and like a way that I dig and got into. I would say this band is like at least this album, I should say, is heavily influenced by the new wave pop rock of the early and mid 80s, especially things like In Excess and Duran Duran and Simple Minds and Talking Heads and
little Tears for Fears
in there. So it's like funky, slightly chorused guitar. It's like drum patterns that are live drums but sound like programmed drums, and there might be some programming in there.
I think it's definitely a mix of the two, live and programmed.
There's, a lot of the beats have wood blocks and cowbells and spoons and like little flourishes. There's lots of like woo type of synth stuff. There's a lot of like synth brass, kind of like Peter Gabriel style, and it's just catchy and fun, and like I love that kind of music, that In Excess style. So like I love this shit.
To also note, this is one of the loudest records I've listened to in a long time. I'm talking like Oasis loud.
Mix the trebles are cutting, the hi-hat shit is cutting,
the bass drum is... I listened to this in like pushing like the push in ear headphones, little Bluetooth things.
Pressure.
It hurt my ears to listen to that way. I would suggest only in the car. This is a dance in the car. This is not a headphone record. This is the worst album I've ever listened to in headphones. When I say that, I'm not kidding.
I've heard some
I'm
not
kidding you. This was literally one of the worst albums I've ever listened to in headphones.
My
it was
worst,
so bad.
Worst headphone experiences to me are late Metallica stuff. Chili Peppers, unfortunately, Rick Rubin. Sorry.
This is on this level, not Chili Peppers level.
What's the band? Pantera. That shit hurts my ears.
Pantera, you feel that in the fillings.
Yeah.
It's like,
but part of that thing is the albums of the mid '80s. That was like the height of, now we're good at digital recording. We're gonna push the levels of things. We want that crispy, and we want that pressurized bottom.
Yeah,
everything is pressure.
Everyone's in a club doing fucking cocaine all night. So it's that's what the music was geared to. So like this is a throwback to that style. So it makes sense that they went with that way mixing wise.
It's a definite throwback to that style. It's all got that like indie dream pop thing like blanketed over the whole thing.
It's all soaked in reverb.
I also wanted to shout another band that I thought this was like kind of a rip of was Walk the Moon. The Shut Up and Dance With Me guys. That was like a long time ago. I think at this point maybe like 10 years ago. This sounded all like, let's take Shut Up and Dance With Me and kind of like redo it a lot of times. Not to say that this album is like completely a wash, but songs I thought that were like really standouts were like 2001.
My favorite song. Yep. Yeah.
I feel like that one was like a really great pop song. It's got literally like the sugar-coated candy lyric in it. And I always use that to describe great pop songs in this podcast. So 2001 definitely had its own feel. I think it has the best drums on the record. It's got like, it mixes and it like starts to syncopate in and out. The bummer for me was at the end of the song that the drums didn't keep syncopating up and down, and it kind of just ends in a locked groove. But that's just me nitpicking at it. This is, for me, the highlight, the best song on the whole record. It is dancey. It could be your song of the summer. Great tune. It's definitely like a indie rock, uptown, gonna funk you up. Bruno Mars style. It's got that whole energy to it. The first like 5 to 6 songs on here, I'd say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The first 6 songs on here, all for me have distinct personalities and identities, and kind of different personalities. Getting to the song "Looking High" and on, and I did listen to this record backwards up as well. For me,
and he watched The Wizard of Oz at the same time.
Definitely
syncs up.
The back half of this record ends up kind of sitting in the same locked groove of tempo, in the kind of the same drum pattern, where I found myself really getting ear fatigue by this point. Again, I tried to listen to it in multiple formats too, not just the headphones, where my ears hurt because I wanted to give it a really shot of a chance. But the loudness of it and kind of like the mix of everything made it hard to pick out stuff. So all that stuff in the bottom half for me just really blends together because it's the same tempo.
Yeah.
But me nitpicking, I did not mind this record, and I liked it more than the Drake record overall if it was playing in the background. But
yeah,
yeah,
I think this is going to be a fun summer record, fun for during the day in the summer when like the energy's still high, like a good cookout, a great beach record, likewise, like Luke said, 2001. I did take a few.
Wake Me Up is another great tune on here as well.
Flutter, I think, is that the name of a song?
Yeah, Flutter was
has
another.
That kind of noodly guitar line.
The noodly guitar line. It also was reminiscent of like AM Arctic Monkeys a little bit, where it was like down,
swagging.
It didn't.
Swaggering, I mean to say.
Yeah, it didn't have like the exact like rocky dirtiness of the Arctic Monkeys by any means, but it definitely had that like feel and tone and rockability.
Yeah,
rockability, not rockabilly. But yeah.
Song wise, I wrote just some songs down that I liked. 2 a.m. 2001, Looking High. Life Is Yours was another song. The title track and the first track opening up. Just high energy, fun, dancey. It's 41 minutes and 59 seconds long. It's 11 songs. It's not like a super demanding album in terms of like it's not a chunker of a record, you know what I mean? It's just kind of like a nice, quick, boom, fun, dancey, get your toe tapping,
even
get
like
the shoulder swaying.
2 a.m. has like a lot of sparseness in the beginning where it's like dump, 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 and that makes it a lot easier to listen to. That's like to differ the back half of the record.
Yeah.
The back half of all the songs are just like chunked up. And like a lot of stuff going on. 2 a.m.'s like that chunky synth.
I would
really
say
great.
My nitpick is I wish there were more songs that use single tracking on the lead vocal because I think there's only maybe 2 songs that are single track lead vocals. The rest are double, triple tracked, so it sounds like just it's too much stuff going on. I wish it was single track so it sounded more like In Excess rather than like double, tripled so it sounds like Simple Minds and all that stuff. But yeah, this is my go-to is like British guys who want to play funky pop music.
Yeah.
I love this kind of stuff. I'm a big fan of the 1975 and In Excess, and this is like right in that vein.
Can I ask you a question though? Because I feel like of the three of us, you're probably more
Tame
familiar.
Impala, it's kind of like new Tame Impala a little bit too.
You're more familiar with Foals just as a band. So like, do you feel like this is kind of like a pretty interesting departure from the everything not saved will be lost kind of vibe? Because I feel like that parts 1 and 2. Not that I listen to them extensively, you know what I mean? Because it's like it's 2 different albums released.
Oh, and especially those are heavier emotional albums.
So going back and listening to those 2 albums, I would say in terms of my own personal taste that I would say like my taste kind of falls more in between those 2 albums specifically. More specifically part 2, Everything Not Saved Will Be Lost part 2, the second one. I liked probably a little bit more than part 1. But yeah, so it's definitely a bit different. But I like I said, man, I enjoyed it, especially compared. I don't know. It's interesting because to AB this and the Drake record because both are kind of sort of like throwbacks to like previous styles that have kind of already been done. I preferred the Foals record to the Drake album for sure. I found this way more enjoyable to listen to.
Lyrically had a lot more going for it as well. It just had like a lot, great, better metaphors, more personal. You could, what's going on in this guy's life, you can kind of, tell.
This is
I thought that was a little bit better.
a sunshine after the 2.5 years of COVID darkness kind of record.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it. And their old albums, like they've always had catchiness and poppiness and up tempo and energy and all that stuff, but they've never made funk stuff, and every song in this album is a funk song.
This is Flutter. It's got that like
down, because this is all funk. This whole album, where it's not really pop rock. It's kind of on a different level. I said this for me. I love this kind of music, and I think this is well done. This is an 8 for me. This is a strong 8, and if I listen to it more, I'm gonna enjoy it more. I feel.
Yeah, I'll give it. I'll say like a 7.5, 7.5, strong 7.5s, 8-ish. You know, all in all,
6.
a 6 for Luke. Okay.
I think it's got some good standout tracks. But for me, it's just the mix of it is too much for me to get past.
Yeah, I'll agree with you.
6.
It's the not on the rating as much as if I had one thing that I was like nitpicking on it, it's just the mix is a little too loud.
Yeah, and I
It's a little
didn't.
too loud.
I mean, when you guys brought it up, I kind of realized maybe, but like, I listen to stuff that's mixed like this. Like, I listen to funk and disco and all that shit all the time. It's all mixed like this, so it didn't even.
See, for me, it
didn't sound anything.
This is loudness wars for me. Like I'll do like loud high ends. This is just loudness war for me.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
yeah.
So tell us what you think, you the listener and viewer. So there you have it. Foals and Drake's new records. Back to front. So, let us know what you think. Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And awaken the primordial algorithm. Good Lord, I can't talk. Until next time, we've been getting the garage.
We've gotten in the garage.
We've gotten
Until
in the garage.
next time.
It's time to draw that door down and
Mike, you have the whistle.
and head on out. Here, Luke, would you like to do a little whistle blowage? All right. Until next time. Goodbye.
This has been a presentation from the Wasted Robot Network. For more information and links to other shows, please visit www.wastedrobotrecords.com/podcasts.